Good morning and welcome to my Saturday, my last Saturday. I hope that everyone's having a great week. Sorry I missed an upload on Monday, but life just got away from me, and that is what this whole video is going to be about, is how to balance the burnout and the overwhelm when you're a mom and the keeper of the home and doing all the things. You know, it's so important to have little things that you do to keep your mind right. So the first thing that I like to do is actually get out of my home. Maybe that's a little bit unconventional as like a homemaker, but yeah. So Polly and I went to a couple of our favorite places this Saturday. First was our bookstore, and then we went thrifting around town. I was looking for specific like vintage frames, and I didn't have much luck, but we did find a couple cool things. And yeah, we just kind of walked around and took it all in. And I always go with something in mind so that I'm not just like overwhelmed by all the things. The boys were at a birthday party, so I wanted to give Polly some autonomy, and I let her choose our next stop, which was to go and paint some pottery. This is her little doggy. Then we moved back out into the thrifting world. I still was trying to find those frames, and I gave Polly $4 that she could spend, and she spent it. And then I really loved all the plates here. I didn't need any, but I liked the plate sets. I liked how fun they looked, and some looked pretty vintage to me. And we were also looking for a vase for Polly's room for some fresh flowers. She loves having those by her bed, and so we picked this one up actually, and it's kind of a fun little milk glass one. I also liked this little urn kind of planter. I kind of wish I would have gotten it, but I really didn't have anywhere to put it. And then again, this is another bunch of plates that I was into, but again, have nowhere to put them. But I'm a bit plate obsessed, so I have to stop myself from purchasing plates whenever I go thrifting, honestly. Polly, what did you get from the thrift store? You got a book for $1, and then we got this little guy, bit steep at $3, but you know. Okay, so this is our little thrift shopping haul. First, we went to a local bookstore that we're obsessed with. My friend actually owns it. She's wonderful. And we got these two books, and they were actually free for Polly. Holy moly. But they were her secondhand books, and we're really excited about those. And then she also gave us a little canvas bag, and then that's all we got there. Oh, and I got this, which I'm very excited about. It's a little ceramic vase.
But it's orange,
but it's like it looks like a book.
You can get it out though.
Then at the thrift store, we went to two different ones. The one that we found stuff was this book, and then this little guy. I think it was $3 for this and $1 for this. And then I found this because I wanted it for the kitchen. That was $6. Everything was 30% off. And then this basket was $5. And then this basket was $6. And then this vase was $3. Okay, so we had our day yesterday where we kind of just didn't do any house stuff, but today it's time to tackle the house. So as you saw just a minute ago, I was browning up some beef, and I just put some butter and Worcestershire sauce in there, brown that up, and I'm cutting up some celery. This is going to be a Crockpot meal, and I'm getting it going in the morning. As you can see, I'm in my morning robe, and I'm just going to cook that on low for 8 to 10 hours. And once that meat is browned up, I'm going to add it to the Crockpot, and I'm adding in all of these veggies I'm cutting. I had already cut up an onion. I forgot to show that. And I put in some cloves of garlic. And I'm also prepping some of the celery. I had so much, so I'm prepping some for snacks and lunches for the week. So that's why they're going into that glass container there. The kids love to have celery as a snack, so I like to have it readily available, washed up, and cut. Then, yes, I am cutting up baby carrots. I got a ton from Costco, and so I thought I'm just going to use these for this instead of going out and buying whole carrots. And yeah, so I'm just chopping those up into chunks, and I'm going to be adding those to my pot here shortly. So here in the pot, I have a packet of brown gravy mix, onion packet, and that is going to be cooking while I continue to clean. So after I did the dishes, I moved on into cleaning out the microwave. And, you know, I clean out the microwave and I clean behind and underneath and inside the kitchen appliances at least every 3 to 6 months. The microwave I do probably every 2 weeks, if not weekly. But the other ones I kind of tackle every 3 to 6 months depending on the time I have. So I'm going to move on into the oven now. And I don't think I had cleaned this since like before Christmas, definitely before Christmas. So I'm just going to take my Full-X. That's what I had today. And I'm just using that to kind of cut out the grease and that grime. And yeah, you know, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I don't know why cleaning is such a source of release for me, but it is. It always has been. And so you can really tell if I am kind of in my own head, if I am deep cleaning. I mean, of course it has to be done, but it's a good indicator that mentally I might be a bit unwell. And I think it's normal. You know, I think that this day and age we can tend to kind of get in our own heads and maybe feel that the overwhelm is not normal, but it is normal. You know, being a mom is so hard. You know, I don't think anyone ever said like, gosh, my motherhood journey is just a breeze. It's hard in every, you know, area. And keeping up a home is difficult, and keeping children alive and safe is difficult. Nothing comes easy. And if it is coming easy to you, God bless you. Please make a podcast because I need to know how you did it. But here at this channel, yeah, this is not perfection. We are getting through. So as you can see here, we had an issue with our freezer. It was kind of, you know, over freezing. And so I cleaned it all out. I took everything out. I cleaned. And I cleaned that out. And then I moved on to the fridge. And I clean out my fridge weekly, you guys. And this is what it looks like. Like, it's unreal to me. But that's what happens when you eat every meal and all the things, you know, when you have 5 people. So how do you combat that feeling of overwhelm? Of course, it's normal. Feel it, work through that. But how physically can you combat that? Well, working out, moving your body, but also just giving yourself tasks that you can mark off. You know, here I just decided that it was time to clean behind and underneath all my appliances. And that made me feel so good and refreshed. And it was something I could control in an uncontrollable time. So now I'm going to move on into another task. You know, I have a little bit more time. I go into the dining room and living room, and I find a few things that I can mark off my to-do here. And as I do that, I don't know, there's something that comes with that, you know, where you feel accomplished, and it gives you kind of that confidence and that energy to get you through whatever you're going through. I don't know, having a clean space where I feel like I did this and it looks nice and I did get some things done. I don't know, it just makes me feel so much better. One thing I like to do is kind of bulk clean these areas that I don't enjoy doing. So I'll pick a big task and I'll pair it with something that I have to do bi-weekly or every month. And I kind of just rotate those throughout the year. So today it was cleaning the appliances, behind them, underneath them. And then I'm pairing that with a bi-weekly task, which is to clean the windows. And then the patio needed a nice clean out too. So I'm also going to tackle that before moving on. So you've given yourself a little bit of time to kind of, work through that overwhelm and that burnout, do some things that make you feel good. Then you tackle these to-dos that maybe have been on your to-do list. And that might make you feel better and release a bit of that overwhelm. And then you still feel maybe a little bit overwhelmed. Well, get out, go outside. I know that in certain areas of, the country and other countries, it may be really cold right now. So I know that this may look very foreign to you on a February a hike, but try to give yourself some time outside. There's something so therapeutic about breathing in fresh air, moving your body, being by some form of water, just something that gives you a bit of peace and serenity. For me, it is to be outside in the sunshine and be on walks or hikes. And today we were actually doing a hike for our scouts. Our boys are in Cub Scouts. So the little one, he needed to do a 1 mile and Nash needed to do a 3 mile. And then we were back home. And another thing that I do to combat the overwhelm is to actually cook a, semi-homemade or homemade meal. And as you saw earlier, I was doing the beef tips with veggies in the brown gravy mix. And now I am cutting up some gold potatoes to boil up to make some homemade mashed potatoes. We call these nashed potatoes because they're Nash's favorite thing. Yeah, that's because I just went through those hand-me-downs from Anna that Aunt Denise sent. All right, so here I'm just kind of adding the butter and the sour cream and the salt and pepper to my mashed potatoes. And then I'm just going to hand mash these. I just have one of those mashing utensils. And while I am doing that, Nash is actually in the other room. You might have heard his little commentary. He is actually putting away all of the clothes for me and putting them on hangers, and that is his chore for this week. So I'm just going with mashing here, and super easy. That way it's just not a big mess. So Archie is finishing out the evening after dinner, doing his chore, which is to do the dishes. Polly's giving him some encouragement. And then we went for a nice sunset stroll at our neighborhood park. We were just kind of taking in the sunset here and playing around, getting some Sunday energy out. And I just want to encourage you guys, if you're having a rough week, a rough month, a rough year, just doing these little things, yeah, they'll help. But try to remind yourself that what's really important is to take in each day, be present, and just know that you're doing your best, and sometimes that looks different each and every day. Have some patience with yourself and some grace, and know that we're all just doing the best that we can, and you've got this. All right. Love your faces.